Ukrainian forces continue to suffer the consequences of their defeat in Vuhledar, a fortress town in eastern Ukraine's Donetsk Oblast. Advancing past Vuhledar, a ramshackle Russian force is in a position to flank Ukrainian troops in their fallback position in the town of Velyka Novosilka. A Naval brigade repulsing repeated Russian assaults. But the Ukrainian command never significantly reinforced the 72nd Mechanized Brigade, instead deploying any available forces to bold and high-risk operations, such as Ukraine's August invasion of Russia's Kursk Oblast. So the Russians were able to gradually grind down the 72nd Mechanized Brigade and ultimately force its few surviving troops to retreat from Vuhledar in late September. The retreat collapsed the front line in southern Donetsk. Ukrainian forces fell back to secondary positions, effectively handing Russian forces more than 100 square miles of Donetsk. With many of its best forces still tied up in Kursk, Ukraine is still struggling to stabilize the front line in Donetsk. This week, a Russian assault group with a bizarre mix of up-armored artillery tractors and turtle tanks, possibly from the 131st Motor Rifle Regiment, 37th Motor Rifle Brigade, or 40th Naval Infantry Brigade, got swarmed by Ukrainian drones and thoroughly wrecked. But other Russian assault groups managed to maneuver past and then around Velyka Novosilka, advancing on the town's eastern flank. Velyka Novosilka itself should have very good defenses, Perpetua noted. But the defenses are meant to stop attacks from the south, not the north and east. The Ukrainian garrison, including elements of the 48th Assault Battalion, the Presidential Brigade and the 17th National Guard Brigade, is in danger of being partially encircled. Russian forces may attempt to bypass the eastern flank of Ukrainian positions in Velyka Novosilka and intensify pressure on Velyka Novosilka from the south to force Ukrainian Defense Forces units to withdraw from the village, enabling further advancement toward the southwestern edge of Donetsk Oblast, the Ukrainian Center for Defense Strategies explained. Losing the town of Velyka Novosilka will not, in itself, be that much of a disaster, in the grand scheme of things, Perpetua explained. It is just one town. It is the fact that Russia is attacking the defensive line from the flank, parallel to the defenses, which is the true disaster. If Russian troops can get around the fortifications in Velyka Novosilka, they might be able to duplicate this maneuver in other sectors in the east. Ominously, there probably aren't many Ukrainian reserves in the area that could staunch the infiltrations. The strength of these defenses, and the difficulty of attacking this ground, allowed Ukraine to undermine these areas to shift forces to other areas, Perpetua pointed out. That's over. Now you need to begin sacrificing other areas to defend here. The Russian military suffered the loss of 1,610 troops, 17 tanks, and 153 vehicles between November 18th and November 19th, according to figures sourced from Ukraine's armed forces. The data, posted to the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense's official X, formerly Twitter, page also said Russia lost 46 artillery systems, 38 unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, a cruise missile, and 17 pieces of special equipment within the same time frame. The latest figures, if accurate, would bring Russia's total losses, per Ukrainian reporting, of troops, tanks, and vehicles since the 2022 invasion began to 724,050, 9,382, and 48,640 respectively. Total artillery losses would be 20,632, while drone and special equipment losses would total 19,111 and 3,672 respectively. Russia does not regularly publicize its military losses, and analysts are skeptical of reports from both sides of the conflict. The latest update from Ukrainian authorities, which comes as the conflict enters its 1,000th day, follows reports last week that Russian troops suffered their highest number of casualties in a single day since the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Moscow lost 1,950 troops on November 11th, Ukraine's armed forces said. This broke a grim record set only one day earlier on Sunday, when Kyiv reported 1,770 casualties. Prior to this, the previously held record was in mid-May, when it was reported that Moscow sustained 1,740 casualties in a single day. The latest updates come after the Biden administration authorized Ukraine to use American long-range missiles, including the Army Tactical Missile Systems, ATACMS, against targets inside Russia, a move that has sparked debate both at home and abroad. While some European leaders, such as the European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, have welcomed the decision, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov warned that by allowing Ukraine to fire American missiles into Russian territory, the US was escalating the war. The military-industrial complex seems to want to make sure they get World War III going before my father has a chance to create peace and save lives, said Donald Trump Jr., son of the president-elect.
Гармата! Постріл! Постріл! Гармата! Вихід!